Hi, I'm back again with some more Transformers crossover NFL figures. In this case, we are looking at the jazz inspired color scheme of the Buffalo Bills Blizz-Herd.
Transformers at the moon. Fantastic.
Blizz-Herd, Blizzard. So there he is again in his case or his bubble. Road mode, looking very much like Chase from Rescue Bots. The back and the side, very much underneath. So again, these are officially endorsed figures by the NFL. You have the logo, you have their holographic part on the back as well. The virtual Transformers crossover section on the bottom, obviously the Hasbro logo as well. Bubble packaging, similar to Beast Wars. One piece of card comes up, folds underneath, which is really cool to go through. I've mentioned it on other videos though, that I prefer the box toys. Bubbles, these are quite nice actually to see the toy. And it's really cool in road mode. I do wonder if actually they're sold better if they were packaged in helmet mode. They would have been smaller. They could have put them in boxes if they packaged them in helmet mode, little like themed boxes for the different teams. A bit like if you bought, I'm assuming you can buy commemorative helmets for also kind of like helmets. I think that probably would have worked. Maybe packaging it in helmet mode rather than road mode. But free business tape on the side allows you to flag it open and get to the box pretty easily. Again, you can do the tape on the outside. I'm going to do the worst for this video, but just I find it easy because if you cut that tape at the top, it's going to end up getting very flimsy. So I just slide my knife down the side of the plastic and you can hear the popping noise. So all I'm cutting in is sellotape, not the box. So hopefully it does the damage. And listen again now. I get if I can out finger with it. That is a little flat under here. Opened up. Maybe that's a knife again because the last part I have to do is this section at the end to be able to just get a little slice under there so it opens up. The only thing you can't get into that leaf is the part of the cardboard on the back. It's not much of a problem really. None of the Transformers don't particularly have a lot of value with the small retail goods. And these aren't going to be not really going to be very honest in the future. Just look 50R line again, a different colour. For the Buffalo Bills, we have the instruction sheet on here for Blizz-Herd. I believe it's also a move, play. And then here is the robot mode. And it is PET recyclable plastic. In the US, one thing I will say, it could be just different due to where you live, but they certainly recycle more plastic here than in the UK where I grew up. Now, it may be due to Spilful, where I lived in the UK, but they just work with. You can separate out your plastics and waste and cardboard and stuff, and you do it all the time. But they would only recycle certain plastics in the UK. If it was too thick, then they weren't able to recycle it. Whereas in the US, doesn't seem to be a problem. It could be just different sort of incinerators or however they're melting the plastic down. Definitely, they seem to be able to get through more plastic in the US than in the UK. There are, I believe it is 6 ties for the robot, and 2 ties for the helmet, and then 1 rubber band that ties the back in. I put all of my trash pieces back into the box, and then I'll probably end up throwing them out. But for the ones I've done earlier on or in previous videos, I've just taken it out. Now this guy, I may have a problem with him because his arm pops off as I took it out of the box, and it was a little tricky to get it back on. Right, it's still got that last bit of rubber band on the back piece where it had to hold on for the helmet. So let's just undo it. Now, I mentioned before, I'm not really the American football fan. Football fan over here. Michael's cricket. And here's a bit of real football, soccer. American football is more adverts, play for a bit, Paul, play for a bit, Pauls. It's these kind of stuff I quite like. Uh, Basketball's more interesting, and ice hockey, uh, more going on than American. Just personal choice, obviously. Very, very popular sport over here. But I do like these toys. So I don't have a team, so I'm getting all of these guys, and I don't know if for the Buffalo Bills, I'm assuming they play in white with blue, but for me, this guy is just Jazz. So let's take a look at Blizz-Herd. Here he is in his robot mode with his Autobot logo, bright, vibrant colours with the white, the blue, and the red, making very much an Autobot style colour. Obviously, that's like Jazz. A nice stripe down the side, big stripe on the back, on the side, and the helmet. Now, the helmet can come off, obviously. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Here is his head. Very, very similar to Chase from Rescue Bots. That's what I say about all of them, because they're shaping the roundness. His one obviously also blue with the big visors. Kind of getting a bit of a smirk. Come on, face. Going on with a lip, with an Elvis lip. Going through. These are pretty well articulated toys. They do have a knee bend. And they can move it out and around. The keyboard at the back does get a little bit in the way. The ankle does rotate and it can tilt at a slight angle as well. Wrists don't turn, but they fold in because of the transformation. He can rotate at the elbow, bend 90 degrees at the elbow, lift at the shoulder, rotate at the shoulder, and the head can it rotate? No, it can't. But it can nod slightly because of the movement back for the transformation mode. The helmet, these are really nice still. I'll try and get it closer if I can. It has the logo on it, and they unfold for me like a motorcycle style helmet with a visor coming up to make it easy to get on and get off there. Probably a similar size to the G.I. Joe toys. If you ever had Captain Gridiron from G.I. Joe 3 3/4 inch toy, his helmet's probably a similar size to theirs. That'd be interesting to see. Can you swap it over? Had Captain Gridiron. We did these Captain Gridiron. He's in the UK for us because Steve has all of our Joes. But he looks pretty nice. Very much similar to Jazz. He's very white, so he's gonna turn yellow over time. You know that. It's just gonna be a question of how long. Is it going to be a case of months or is it going to be a case of years? A lot of the modern toys for white seems to go bad very quickly. Now I live in California, very much a sunshine state, but I do try to keep the blinds pulled across here. But there's a big gap in the rental property that we're in at the moment. The screws are very visible at the front, which is a little bit of a shame. Would have been nice if they could have been hidden away, but it is what it is. Now I'm going to transform him. It says it's 20 so many steps to transform, but they are pretty straightforward, and you can kind of work it out if you had Transformers before without really thinking too much about it. Feet foot up in the inside, and then the back piece Just a couple of little forward back motions will bring it around the side, and then you may get a little pop. I did in that one where it's gone in nicely. The other side, it may not do. The sides panels will rotate around, and what you're looking at doing is lining up this back piece here with that back. Now, it may not line up perfectly the first time around. If so, it just means you need to just keep removing it and the back piece until it eventually comes together. So, like for me, this back one here isn't quite right. I had it too low down. Had to lift it up and in a little bit, and then it would clip in. And then his legs just tap together at the bottom. Top part, the funnels roll back, and then you want to just rotate his head back. And inside, be careful not to knock the helmet off. And then these panels will just come over the top. The front or the bonnet can then lift up, and then we start to realign then into the curvature of the helmet. The wrists rotate in, as you get for most. Now, these toys are odd, kind of deluxe class, maybe a little smaller. Come into here, and then we have an ab crunch, which I've mentioned before. I don't think you can use this in robot mode because I think the front will get in the way, but we can give it a try. But yes, the ab crunch means you just bend at the knees to fold the legs in at the back. Refold the panel down on the top to get that nice and lined up, and then we'll jiggle around with the arms and the sides to fit later on. The legs will fold through, and you can line up the back pretty much straight away. Then you can work your way through for the sides. So it's not quite lined here yet, but you get the idea. I have it a little bit twisted, and then you just need to work your way around on the arms. These pieces you push in and then rotate. Push in and rotate. So that one rotates clockwise, and that allows you to move. It only seems to want to rotate in one direction. So if you find that it's sort of tight or stiff when you're doing it, just pause for a moment. Make sure you are rotating it in the correct direction. Otherwise, you could well break it, and you don't want to do that. And this will all tab together. You can hear it clicking and clipping together in a pretty cool way. You just have to position these. Now the bars, you can see here is a gap. You then push it in, and it makes it nice and neat to tab through. Now I'm probably going to need to put it back out again because I need to refit the gridiron. These bars can fold through. It can clip on his back in robot mode to be out of the way, but we're going to place the football, and I'm going to do this first of all. What I've done on the others is I put it together first, but I'm going to put the football on first, and then I'm going to clip it in. There are three pegs, 2 blue and 1 here. They go on the 3 on the side. I generally start with one side and do the top part, get that in, and then try and line the pole up, and then you just come back to the other side. Peg the 2 outside pieces, and then push that one in. You can see it's not quite lined up. That's not a problem. It's just a case of moving it around, and there he is. So that was a pretty quick transformation. We're 13 minutes in. Less than that is probably him transforming. Here he is in the sideways view, showing off his nice buffalo logo on the front, the other side, the back, the top, and underneath. Now he's not quite as flush as I'd like him to be on here, but there are gaps running through. There just seems to be that way around in how I do it. This is my piece here. I push it back. It's just sliding through. These are a really nice toys. I think so. Again, I've got all 7 of them. I'm going to try and display them, I think, in the helmet mode, in a bit of an angled picture. I'll try and put some pictures up later on, but they look pretty. There's a decent weight to it, kind of maybe like the weight of a cricket ball. A little bit smaller than a cricket ball with a grid. That is kind of a similar size cricket ball, so you can get quite good leg spin action on it. But Pretty sweet. This is Blizz-Herd. Very much jazz style. So if you're a Buffaloes fan or a jazz fan, I'd recommend getting this one. He's pretty cool. But that is the 7th of the 7 NFL Transformers crossovers released at the time of this video, which is August 2026. If you were in the UK, In Demand Toys has these for sale. They had them for sale at TF Nation earlier on. I got mine from Hasbro Pulse in the US. It got delivered on the Monday before TF Nation, but I was in the UK before TF Nation. I had to wait until I got back to get them out. But they're pretty cool. I'm going to continue getting these. As I say, I haven't got an affinity to a club, so I'm just going to get all of them because I think they look pretty sweet. And yeah, Steve's got the device labels and the music labels at home in the UK. I haven't, so these are kind of my thing. These guys, I've got the football, the soccer ball, and my popsicle robots as well. So thanks for watching. Check out another video on Transformers, Visionaries, JoJo, or any other toy line that we had, and I'll see you shortly.
Transformers at the moon. Fantastic.